Heidi ho, friends. How's everybody doing out in TikTok world? My name is Michelle, and this is a Blue Heavens spiritual awakening video. So Angie gave her spiritual awakening story, so I'm going to go ahead and do my spiritual awakening story. So I remember like the earliest memories, I was saying, always tell the truth, always tell the truth. And I always said that, and I think it was like 3 or 4. And I always say that. And I remember that's like one of my first memories. I just like, always tell the truth, always tell the truth. And I tried to keep to that, but when I got to kindergarten, that all went to hell back. And almost like when I was little, I didn't want to go into forgetfulness. Like I knew it was going to happen, I just didn't want it to happen. And a moment where it did hit home that something was, I was listening to, I always call them my horror songs, not horror songs, but horror songs. But I would hear these songs like Dust in the Wind and different songs, and I would close my eyes and I would see like an older couple sitting on a park bench. And now I know that was Locaeus, and that was me sitting on a park bench, and he was telling me it was all going to be okay, but I didn't understand what it meant, and I would cry because I would miss whoever this was. I just knew he isn't here, and I would just feel like a loss, and I'd cry by the stereo because our mom always had the radio going. So I'd hear certain trigger songs, Stairway to Heaven or whatever, and I would just go into a ball of tears. And I still can't hear these songs to this day. I remember that. But that's the last time I'd seen Locaeus. That was the last time, and the illusion hit, and I was probably about 7 or 8. And that was the last time until much later in my life. Then I, again, seen him in the reality shift. But he was always around us. I mean, Locaeus, Loki, they were always around us. And so was Marcus. And they would always help us out at the house. We grew up in a haunted house. And me and Angie's grandma's house was as well haunted. So that was our experience. I had a dream when that I can remember, like one of the first dreams. My grandma always had a 3-wheeled bicycle and with a basket. And I'd have a dream that I was on this 3-wheeled bicycle and I'd hit an apple tree. Boop, I hit an apple tree. But as the years progressed, and when I was 19, it turned to I had a red car. I can't remember what car I had, but I had a red car. That's all I know. And a Dodge Charger. Okay, red Dodge Charger. Thank you, Loki. And before my car wreck, 2 weeks before my car wreck, this car hit a tree on a hill. And, as I thought it's just a dream, But I was a maniac driver. I drove way too fast, and I only had my license for like 9 months, and I wrecked the car in rain. And so it was like I had a vision from the time I was, like 9 or 10, from a bicycle to a car. Like it was just destined to happen. It just changed. It was going to be a car, And at that time, it didn't make no sense. The car accident, it made sense. So why would that be anything? Well, when I wrecked my car, I hit my head on the steering wheel, and all I remember was praying to God, like, I don't want to die. This isn't the way I want to go. Mom and Dad are going to kill me if I die, and all of these, because my car's just going in a spiral spin, and then I hit my head, and that's all I remember. And then I seen a white light. And I seen this white light. It really wasn't how I seen it. It was how I felt it, how it made me feel. And it felt like I kind of floated, and there was a white, beautiful light. And I saw Azra, which is one of our guides, Azra, and Azura, which is an aspect of Loki. And Azra said, this isn't your time yet. You need to go back. You've got so much more to do. And I'll never forget that. Because I was really scared to go back to the body because I knew, oh shit, I just wrecked a car. I don't know what the hell happened. I was really freaked out to see what happened. But he reassured me. He said, I will be there. All of us will be here while you're getting better. We've never left you. We've always been here. You just forgot we were here. And that gave me some kind of hope that I hadn't felt my whole childhood. And that was my awakening to there's something more. I always felt there was something more throughout my childhood, little glimpses here and there, but it didn't add up. And I would hear everybody say, well, there's not really a God. God wouldn't do this kind of stuff. But what I saw was a bright light. And I heard what I heard, and I know it was Lazarus. It was them, reassuring me it was all going to be okay. So when I did get back to the body, I had broke my right leg, and I had broke my femur in 2 places, and I broke my nose. But somehow through the ambulance and the hospital, I wasn't scared. I knew I had that assistance. I felt that because Azra made me feel like I had that, I had help. I had all that spiritual assistance, and I wasn't alone. Like I could just, and it really wasn't like what I saw. It was more how I felt. It was this love that was so deep, and I knew that I wasn't being judged. I wasn't being judged how I was driving my car, and it was an amazing, beautiful feeling. And then when I was given something in my IV to make me sleep, I cannot remember what it was, but something, whatever, to make me sleep, I would still see Lazarus, and I would see them just talking to me. You got this, you're going to get out in 4 days, you got this. So I would tell anybody that would hear me, the doctors and nurse attendants and my parents, that I'm going to be out of this in 4 days. And everybody'd say, well, the extent of damage you did to your leg, and you're not going. And I was all beat up, and from the belt, my chest and everything. So they, the doctors are like, you're going to be lucky to get out in 7 days. I don't think it's going to be 4 days. Well, lo and behold, because I felt them around me, I felt Lazarus, I felt this, I couldn't explain it. I got out in 4 days. And even he was a nurse attendant, and he even said, I don't know how much I believe you, but there is something with you. He said, because you kind of shine. He said, you kind of glow, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, oh, this is the medication, I'm high. But that's what he said. He said, you had such a hope from the beginning. He said, nothing has swayed you this whole time, even walking on crutches and IVs. And he says, nothing has stopped this. You're still as hopeful as you were when you came in here. So that was the beginning of my spiritual awakening, and that. So I will go into part 2, and thank you for joining me for this part of my spiritual awakening, and that because this was a big part of when it really happened. But there is more that happened after that as well, which makes that moment a very big moment, and it'll all make sense in part 2. So thank you for joining me for my spiritual awakening story. And, what is your spiritual awakening story? Post it below, and that me and Angie, we would love to, how's everybody else? I know everybody's spiritual awakening story is different. It's beautiful, and it's each our own, because we're all unique, light, and we're all different, every single one of us. So thank you for joining me for today, Spiritual Awakening, and join me tomorrow for part 2, and much love to everybody. Remember, you're unconditionally loved, and much love.